Why is he such a crybaby? He's a Cancer. Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 2 of Our Life. First of all, I would like to apologize. I have not slept in 2 days. I don't know why. It'd be like that sometimes. I'm very tired, but I still really want to play and make a video, so here I am. Alright. The next morning, you finish your breakfast so fast that you practically inhaled it. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you'd stay put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Magia? Yeah, a lot. I got an achievement, relaxed. Okay. I am pretty relaxed, I'm pretty tired. Isn't that just the sweetest thing? I bet the two of them are going to be great playmates. With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah. Haha, I don't know, am I? Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. I'm eating it all. You know what I mean? Good job. You should be here soon. Clean up began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. What's up with her face? Both of their faces look so creepy right now. Magia, could you get it? You practically leap out of your chair on the way to the door. Hey, Black family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him and Mom and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see the interesting new boy again, you smiled at Cove. Cove returned it shyly. Let's go play in my room. Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids. See you later, son. Play nice. Wait, this is a cute little room. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. That is so cute and kind of sad. He leans in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. I'll say I drew that. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. You turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. I would probably say I hope that he likes my room. He had put a lot of effort into making your room, or you had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hoped he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it, before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach. Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think so. Yeah, see? You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice, or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Shiloh is going to be here today. Shiloh? Lizzie's friend, or like her #1 fan, I guess. Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine, but you know. Come on, check out my shell some more. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that had washed ashore, and you pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. That reminds me, one time I was at the beach and I found this like really cool shell, and oh my gosh, I brought it back to my hotel room, and my dad said I should like place it in the sun so it can dry out since it was like wet because it was in the ocean. And so I did that, and whenever we got back, it was on the floor, and I was like, wait, how did it get on the floor? There was a hermit crab in it. I feel so bad. Anyways, over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. That is so crazy because I just had a funny story to tell. Your voice faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best as you could. Definitely the middle one. That is so crazy. Apparently fascinated, either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, and after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. That's also kind of weird. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. For some reason, it was making your cheeks feel warm. You had never felt like this around someone before. It was kind of weird. This is so wholesome. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right. That telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. See, this is what I don't like. This is what I didn't want to happen. Like, I didn't want it to be part of, like, his plan. I just wanted to be his friend to be his friend. And now it's like, no, see, I don't like that. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited, that is such weird wording, in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. That's cute. Great. Okay, but be careful. You should have asked. I'll say great. Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Shiloh. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. That's my favorite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. I'm gonna give it to him, because that's sweet. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure. You like it a lot, right? Uh-huh. But I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You insisted, you let it go. I'm insisting. No, it's okay for you. You pushed a shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present, but Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly at his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Cove was your neighbor now, maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, he figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. Why is he such a crybaby? It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. True. You could tell what he was thinking right away. He's a Cancer. This isn't a good idea. You'll be alright. He's here. We can't tell him to leave. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. Why is he acting like this? Like, why can't you meet this kid? He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. No, I'm not doing this. I learned my lesson from Life is Strange. I am not letting this dude jump out the window. Do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh is the least scary person alive. Cheer up. Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go. I kind of want to go with him, but I feel like we can get in trouble. But I feel like if we go together, then we can talk and it can be all cute. Then I feel like if I, like, you know, try to, like, get him to stay, he's just gonna go off on his own and not like me. Decisions. I think, either Shiloh's the least scary person alive or sure up Shiloh's gonna like you. I'm gonna say sure up Shiloh's gonna like you. He likes everyone, I mean it. But I don't want to see him. I don't know him. You teased him, you comforted him, you encouraged him. I'm gonna comfort him because he's a little crybaby and I feel like that could help. It's okay if you're worried. Nobody warned you this was gonna happen. Thanks. Shiloh poked his head into the living room. See, I knew it. I knew it. It was impossible to know for sure if he'd heard what you'd been saying or not, but you guessed that he had. He is so cute! Oh my god! Look at his little freckles and his little outfit. Oh, hi, Magia. And hi, Cove. Cove shot you an uneasy glance. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Hi. I'm Shiloh. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Yes, he does, Cove, and it's adorable. Right, I do. That's right, Shiloh, you tell him. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells. Awesome. Can I do it too? Cove shrugged, then looked back at your box of beach findings. What about that one? The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. Where's my sister? Because this is my sister's friend, right? Where's my sister? You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color, kinda like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay. Cove, you are being so rude. And for what? Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue? It might be yellow. This kid needs to figure himself out right now. He is so unsure of himself. Oh, these are all cool. Those are all cool, sorry. I guess. I like those colors too. There are better colors. Not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. You look back at your shells. I'll just say I like those colors too, whatever. Awesome! Both of them smiled. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. Where did Lizzie go? Maybe I just forgot. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Aww. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach. Probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too, right, Magia? The park is fun. I love it. The park is pretty great. Or no. I'll say I love it. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Dude, stop being mean! Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. You perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. Yeah, boys get to decide. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short she could always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Where is she? I want to see her. Magia, Shiloh. Where is she? Hi. She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you too and scrambled over to stand by her. I want to see Lizzie. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. It was nice to have someone who stuck with you. Oh, she's so cute. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new. I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured widely with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wriggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. Okay, Lizzie, too much dip on your chip. She's really gorgeous, though. You are? Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My mom said you're Magia's age. Yeah, thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. Ooh, double digits! What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh's just visiting from another place. That's sad. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. Lizzie, do not mess this up for me. Look at her smug little face. But something in his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're gonna upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. I don't want to say that you're gonna upset him because then I'm like basically calling him a crybaby. So I'm just gonna say only some of them don't like kids. You interjected quickly, hoping Lizzie wouldn't take things too far. Cove sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Magie in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shiloh looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort, at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely you didn't really know. But she laughed, face scrunching up. Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. You offered him a small smile, and that, at least, looked to reassure him some. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way sun and lunch and the beach were. Looking back on it years later, you would realize that you'd had a tiny crush on him right away. One that had made you want to spend as much time with him as you did. Of course, that was only the start of things. Oh wait. And then summer ended. Wait, what is this? Moment select step 1? Do I just choose one of these? I don't understand. Okay, so I don't really know which one to pick because grown up is like we're grown up, right? I feel like that one should be last. Let me save this real quick. So I'm not sure. But look at all this DLC. But I'm also curious about what would happen when we're growing up. I'm just gonna go with the first one, shopping. Okay. Come back here before it gets dark. Alright, sport? The familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail you'd been watching inch slowly across the pavement. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you'd first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe you made a noise, because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You've gotta learn how to be more sneaky. You brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two, smiling at Cove first and then his dad. In turn, Cove shuffled his feet in place as you got closer. Magia! Hi. Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Magia? Taking a walk. I found a pretty cool snail across the road. There's a lot of snails around here. Mr. Holden grinned at you kindly. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun. You know, Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him? Yeah, you can come. You immediately grinned at the idea. You hadn't been sure if you'd see Cove today, and now he was inviting you somewhere. This day couldn't get much better. Great, I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. He found it odd, since your mom's only ever seemed to have cards in theirs. Here. He leaned in to pass a crisp 10 to Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend, too. Sure. That's my boy. Cove's dad ruffled his son's hair as he was straightening back up, the bill in his hand still held out towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then, with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. He followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Cove strayed towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and he fell into place beside him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. He took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of salt and ocean air. When he looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and he slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intently. Are you looking for snails? Are you looking for shells? What is it? He didn't feel the need to ask why. I'm gonna say, what is it? Nothing. Oh, complicated little Cove. You kept staring down at the ground, though. You bit down on your lip a little, wanting to say something else, but not knowing what. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise, and you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in more than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. You didn't either. What did you want to go to the shops for? What do you usually do on the beach? I'm gonna ask him why he wants to go to the shops. I need a new sand pail. Pail? What? Yeah? What happened to your old one? Cove narrowed his eyes, seeming to think deeply for a second.
Whoa.
It disappeared. This is sketchy. I wonder if his dad, broke it or something, or threw it out. What? Really? Cove ducked his head down, lacing his fingers behind his back. It didn't seem like he was going to continue, so you nudged his arm. It's sad. How did that happen? Well, Cove opened his mouth, then shut it again, considering. I took it to the beach one day. Uh-huh. When I got home, it wasn't anywhere. You left it there? Nope, it wasn't at the beach when I went back. Then you lost it. It disappeared. What about you? What do you do out here? I don't come to the beach a lot. I like swimming. I like looking at fish. I like to build sandcastles. Nothing. I'm gonna say I like to build sandcastles because obviously he likes to build sandcastles because he wants a new pail. Last summer, Lizzie and I built one that was as tall as me, and sometimes they have sandcastle building competitions down by the boardwalk. Cool, I bet you could win. You smiled at Cove. Maybe the two of you would build one together one day. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day, the call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other scents now too. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. It's nice. It's not very nice. It's alright. It's nice. The energy surrounding the area seemed to fill you, and there was a bounce in your step as you began looking at all the familiar sights. There were so many things to do, you didn't know where to begin. You looked at Cove, hoping he was just as excited as you were. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near a few tables with large, colorful umbrellas blooming from their middles. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Amazing Alexander. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander! In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read, "The Amazing Alexander," in glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on a sign? Tove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the Amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. Maybe we could stay and watch? Tove glanced back at the man. He then briefly lifted his arms up off his sides before returning them to place. He grinned, waving for him to follow you as he raced back to stand in the crowd. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was 4 of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. Whoa! Okay, whoa! What happened? Anyways, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.